Hello, hi, gentle rising, blessed awakening. How are you doing today? It is so wonderful to be back here with you. The start of another week ahead. How was your awakening? We are now in December. It's the last month of the year. What? Where did 2023 go? I want to know, what are the top 3 highlights for you for the month, for the year, for the year, for the year of 2023? And I'm probably going to ask again in the last live of the year, which will be on December 25th. Our last live is on Christmas. And yes, I know Christ wasn't born on Christmas, and there's all this other stuff, and it's Yule, and true Christmas is in spring when he was born, his true birthday. But nevertheless, I love Christmas. It's one of my favorite times of the year. It makes the cold months just so much warmer. I love how everyone is just a lot more compassionate and patient and loving towards self and each other. I really appreciate the energy that is a majority of our world during the Christmas holiday season, the holy days. So, yay, Christmas is here. I got to go around town last week, and I was running some errands. I had some dates. I had some girl time scheduled, and I got to see all the Christmas decorations everywhere, and it just brings out my inner child. I'm just like, ooh, it's so pretty, and the lights and the fun and the love, and everybody's smiling. And yes, there's stress about the Christmas holidays as well, yet that's not what Christmas is about. Christmas is about tapping into our hearts, into the Christos codes, the unconditional love within ourselves, for our fellow beings, for the Mother Earth. It is not about consumerism and getting the perfect gift, although that's nice. I love presents, especially thoughtful gifts. If you want to send me presents, go ahead. I'll take them. But really, though, December, we're here in December. It's the last month of the year. So how are you doing today? How are you doing today? Well, so today's December 4th, and it's the beginning of the month. I know, 3 days later. So we're going to start today's live with looking at what's coming up over the month ahead and the forecast of the energies for the month ahead. And then I'm going to do the cards for the week ahead. And then if anyone is here live and you want a personal reading, stick around till the end and I'll pull a card for you. If you're catching the replay, thank you so much for joining in the replay. I'm so deeply grateful for you. I'm so deeply grateful for the growth that I have experienced. One of my highlights this year has been the growth and expansion of my work, of my service, in quite unexpected ways. I thought it was going to go this way, and it actually went this way. Of course, we make plans. The goddess laughs. And I'm also offering a special tarot reading for the month of December, a 3-card mini reading for 11/11. What was the lesson of 2023? What is the blessing? What did you learn? And what is the gift that you have received in 2023 that's carrying you into 2024? If you want a deeper dive into the energies, that is also available as a special for 4411. So if you're interested in that, I'll put the link in the description box, and you can go ahead and book your reading with me. It's a pre-recorded reading. You'll get a private YouTube link. So if you're interested in that, that's the only big special that I'm offering this month. And I would love to support you with greater clarity and confirmation and prepare you for the year ahead. And if you want like a deep dive spread into 2024, what's coming for you for 2024, I can do that reading too. So just, I'm here for you. Let me know how I can be of service to you. And I would love to know what more you want to see in this group, in these lives, in the upcoming new year. I'm working on setting up my plan for the 2024 and how I wish to show up. you know, we make plans and the goddess laughs. So let me know how I can be of service to you, okay? All right, enough of my prattling. Let's look at what is going on December. So the biggest energy of December is Mercury retrograde. Now, this is going to be a little bit of an extended, a little bit of a confusing retrograde because it's going to be both in the signs of both Sagittarius, fire, and Capricorn, earth. Okay, so there's going to be a little bit of extra cloudiness, shall we say, during the month of December through January. Okay, I mean, this retrograde is you know, we're now in the pre-shadow. Okay, let me see, where are my notes? Okay, let's see. Yeah, we're already now, we've been in the pre-shadow since last week. Okay, we've been in the pre-shadow since Saturday. Retrograde starts on the 13th, and we are welcoming a new year in Mercury retrograde. So what does it mean when we start a new year? Now, the new year doesn't technically start until March, okay? When we have the first day of spring, Beltane, around that time, that's when the new year starts. The new year starts when the Aries season starts, but we're operating on this Gregorian calendar, so a new year, a reset, a major reset, and it's major because there's so much energy being fed into it. So this is something that's really important to understand, even though we are not in a true alignment of our lunar calendars, because there's so much energy and intention being poured into it. There is a greater effect, shall we say, of the energies, you know, and that's why Christmas around this time of the year is such a big energy time of the year, because a lot of people are pouring that energy into Christmas. Now, if everybody decided that Christmas is going to be on February 27th, then that would change the energy, because where energy and attention goes, energy flourishes and grows, or not. So anyways, we're still reaching the end of the year, so, you know, it's time to start wrapping up through this month, through the next couple of months. We are going into a retrograde season, and we're starting a new year in a retrograde. What does this mean? It means that we're going to be starting off a little bit on the slower side, okay? Again, there's exceptions, such as if you were born during a Mercury retrograde period. But for the most of us, you know, this period of December 1st to January 26th, when Mercury takes this extended stay in the practical and ambitious sign of Capricorn, and then briefly dipping into Sagittarius before going back into Capricorn, this alignment is bringing forth a range of themes focused on the precise communication and contemplation of long-term goals. What an exquisite energy to enter a new cycle, a new year into, right? We want to be very clear about how we are using the 24 hours of a day that we are all given. Tomorrow isn't promised. Hell, the next moment isn't promised. All we have is this here now. So over these next few weeks, take some time to journal, to reflect, to vision board, to make a list of your personal and professional dreams, intentions, goals, okay? Start looking at, okay, this is my big goal. This is my big intention, personally or professionally. How can I, you know, bring this into reality? What are my action steps? How do you figure out your action steps? Grounding meditations, okay? I've shared with y'all the rosebud roots exercise. That's a great, easy way to just ground in, release all the fears, doubts, pessimistic feelings, tap back into the body, reconnect with the oneness that we are all in, that we all are, and really tap into the the little steps that will eventually bring you to your long-term goals. Okay, this alignment is encouraging because we have this, you know, dip in Sagittarius. The Sagittarius is about the explorer, the seeker, the philosopher, the adventurer, the seeing the big picture. It's a fiery energy of expansion outward. Okay, and then Capricorn is about anchoring in our expansion outward with the greater whole, right? Because everything we do does affect all beings, whether we realize it or not, whether we like it or not. It's just how it is. We are all interconnected, okay? It's a good time to really just tune in, soften in, slow down, go within, to examine any patterns, any habits, any relationships, any situationships that are not allowing you to move forward in your empowered, thriving way. You are here to embody your highest excellence. You are not here for mediocrity. You are not here to accept, tepid, lukewarm relationships. You are not here to settle. Okay? The energy of 2024 is bringing big energy of, are you going to step up and claim your divinity? That's pretty much the only option. Okay, so over these next few weeks, we're going to have some time to really look at personal blockages that do not allow us to move forward. And the more we tune in and sit in grounding meditation, sit in stillness, sit in reflection, journal, get really honest. Where have I, using I statements, where have I done or not done something throughout this year? Where did I set intentions and goals and I did not take aligned action? Where did I say I was going to do something and I wasn't in my integrity, right? The more you look within and start clearing the inner stuff, then you're going to have room for your clarity to come through, right? There's only so much space in the mind and in the heart. Well, in the heart relatively. There's only so much space in the mind to process information, so we need to declutter and get rid of stuff. And retrogrades are a really great time for decluttering because it's an internal time, so it really shows us where internally we're clogged. And a big way to look at where we're internally clogged is to look at the clutter in our lives. Like if your house is a fucking mess, if you've got closets overflowing with trash, or just possessions that you just don't use, or you're just holding on, or you're just like, I don't really have a good reason, whatever, it doesn't matter. If your external environment is cluttered and filled with things that don't encourage and empower and nourish you and uplift you, that's a mirror of what's going on inside. Okay, so take this month to really look within and map out your little baby steps taking you towards your long-term professional and personal goals and intentions and desires. Okay, now today, December 1st, Venus is moving into Scorpio. Okay, Venus in Scorpio means intense depth. Okay, Venus is all about love, passion, beauty, money, romance, harmony, charm. It's a very light and breezy energy, but Scorpio is just like very intense. Scorpio doesn't give a flying fuck about your superficiality and like, oh, how's the weather? Did you catch that game? Oh my gosh, your shoes are so cute. Scorpio doesn't care about any of that. Okay, Venus is all about it. Venus is like, you gotta look good, you gotta smell good, you gotta taste good, honey. But Scorpio's like, okay, well that's nice that you look and smell and good, look and smell and feel good on the outside, but what's really going on the inside? Okay, Scorpio is an all-consuming energy, so there's a risk of obsession and possessiveness that comes up when we are in scorpionic energy. Okay, and that's just an opportunity to look at where we are still stuck in codependencies and in attachments. Okay, so this Venus and Scorpio energy is bringing us this opportunity to balance the intensity of our desires with the playful aspect of it. Okay, it is giving us an opportunity to get rid of shallow, lukewarm connections, habits, patterns, situationships. Why are you the fuck in a situationship to begin with, okay? Who wants to be in a situationship? Definitely not me. There are some people who are like, yeah, whatever, we'll see what happens. Hey, more power to you, love. But when we have Venus and Scorpio, even those people who are like, I don't know, maybe we'll see what we'll figure out, they will feel this intensity. Okay, because again, it is a collective energy and we are all affected by it because we are energy beings. We are emotional beings, energy in motion beings. Our energy is always in motion, whether we are allowing that to be in motion or not, right? And when we don't allow our energy to be in motion, to express itself in a healthy way, that is when we get stuck into depression, anxiety, stress, and so on. I posted a video last week here in the Empowered Sensitives group where I talk about how the opposite of depression is expression. Okay, depression happens when our inner scape doesn't match our outer reality, and Venus in Scorpio is going to Venus in Scorpio that's here right now is basically like removing that wall of separation of the inner and the outer so that we can further harmonize the depths of our being, which we all are, okay, whether you're tapped into or not, to the lightheartedness expression that is the Venusian energy, okay? Next week, on December 12th, we have the new moon in Sag, okay? This is where, you know, that mercurial energy is going into Sag. We have a new moon, okay? The new moon is about the new beginnings. It's about, this is the last new moon of the year, so, you know, this is a really good time to get very clear. Sagittarius is the energy of the fire. It's the energy of our will. It's the energy of our yearning, okay? This energy of the new moon in Sag, because of the way that the Mercury energies are playing into it, and the fact that we're going into a new year with that Mercury retrograde energy, this energy is going to affect us for the next few months. And the key point of this new moon Sagittarius is the yearning for the truth, our personal truth, okay? Because truth is singular, its versions are many, okay? We all express our version of the truth, and we align with others whose versions of the truth, the singular truth, mirror and parallel us, right? To a certain point. We all want to eat, we all get fed, we are all nourished by Mama Earth, but we don't all share the same table, and that's okay. And this month is going to show us where we want to share our table and where we don't, right? Again, with that Venusian and Scorpio energy. So with the with the new moon in Sagittarius, you know, our soul is calling out to us, okay? And if you feel like you just need to go in, do a fast, you know, maybe take a little mini vacation, not disconnecting and disassociating from your life and for your responsibilities, not ghosting people, don't do that shit. That's just fucking rude and immature, okay? But like taking some time consciously to tap in, to journey within, okay? That is the first step, and it is usually the hardest, right? It's one thing when we have an awakening experience and we realize like, oh, maybe I'm not aligned in my soul truth, or ooh, I was just disrespected, but that's a reflection that I wasn't respecting myself and I allowed this energy in my life. Or you did hold your boundaries and the other person's just, you know, in their ego. Either way, looking within is usually the hardest step, okay? But what is the point of going within? To recover the treasure of our consciousness, to rediscover our truth, to reactivate our sovereignty, right? Okay, so new moon in Sag can be a little bit of a spontaneous risk-taking energy. Like you might feel like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Because the Sag is a sign that leaps, you know, its glyph is the archer, just like shooting and just like, pooh, taking off. But where is the Sagittarius aiming? It's aiming towards the high heavens. It's aiming towards the excellence. They know that if they take their time and just breathe and ground in, okay, so this is the medicine of the Sag energy. It's about remaining grounded, realistic, and practical, okay, and just setting your marks and just like, when you know, just like a cat, okay? Just like a cat, you hit your target. But you don't just pick up the bow and arrow, you're like, no, that is not the Sagittarius energy. It'll make you want to take a leap of faith, but it will also make you take a breath to make sure that you are aligned with where you are aiming, where you are leaping into, right? And we aren't cats, so we can't just jump. I mean, you could if you're an athlete, right? But for the most part, we're still in this human experience, in these bodies. We got to take actionable, aligned, actionable steps towards our external goals, okay? Again, this energy is going to affect us for the next couple months. So take some time to get grounded, to journal, to, you know, really be clear on your vision and your intentions, not because somebody else wants you to, not because of obligation or tradition or distorted, you know, sense of loyalty, right? That Venus and Scorpio energy is going to highlight that for us of like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not really being authentic and I'm just like fucking around when I don't really want to fuck around anymore. You know, that whole like fuck around energy and find out is a bit of a Scorpio energy, right? But when Venus comes in there, it's like, fuck around and you're gonna get your ass burned because Venus doesn't take any shit, right? Yeah, Venus is a very like lighthearted, loving energy, but Venus is also love, and love includes boundaries, okay? Includes respect, okay? The Venusian energy doesn't tolerate disrespect, okay? So all of these, play into each other. So it's not just like one energy. It's good to look at the whole. So again, risk taking with clarity and discernment and absolute trust that no matter what risk, whatever choice you decide to take, there is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, as you go through the inner darkness of your own soul. When you come out of that, there is so much beauty and love and opportunity and life waiting to be lived. So don't get stuck in it, okay? Don't get stuck in this energy, but give yourself some grace and compassion to dive in and then come back out and dive in and come back out, connect with your friends, your loved ones, and so on and so forth, okay? Now, the day after the new moon goes into Sag, we have the first day of Mercury retrograde, and I talked about how it is a hybrid retrograde, okay, meaning that again it's going to be a little more confusing than usual. Make sure right now back up your hard drives. Shout out to myself, putting myself a mental note here, I got to back up my hard drives, okay? So again, I already talked about the Mercury retrograde, really potent time right now, especially with the ending of the year. The Mercury retrograde ends on January 1st, okay? But we're going to be in the shadow through January. So again, a really potent time to revisit important topics around closure and completion, okay? If you've been dilly-dallying, procrastinating, or you've just been like inundated with life, schedule time to journal and reflect and bring those things into closure and completion. You do not want to carry this shit into a new cycle, okay? All right? See that this is just the natural course of things. Sometimes things are for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, okay? And retrograde allows us to pump the brakes, look back, and especially review not just like this month or the past few weeks, but the entire year, and look at how we have been productive and proactive, or where we have allowed our hurdles to disempower us, okay? Where we have played the victim, okay? Some journal prompts, okay, to ponder is what worked and what was achieved and what didn't work. What worked and why? What didn't work and why, okay? We want to also reflect on our personal growth again with that Sagittarius energy, okay? Our goals are like the Capricornian energy, and our inner growth is the Sagittarius energy, okay? Journal prompt questions for that is, did I give myself room to grow, to process, to integrate, to feel, to self-care, to love, okay? Why or why not? How can I love myself more? How can I treat myself better? Okay, take some time to process and reflect on the year, and that's why I started today's live with what are the top 3 highlights of your year. And I'm going to ask again at the end of the month on Christmas, because that's the energy for the month. It's a month of deep emotional intensity and reflective growth. Okay. Then towards the end of the month, on the December 21st, we have solstice. Hi, solstice. And we have Capricorn season starting, okay? Capricorn is the time of grounded wisdom and true authenticity, okay? It is the last earth sign, so it is where everything really starts to stabilize and root, shall we say, okay? Capricorn is about responsibility, sometimes to the point of its own detriment, okay? Some of the hardest workers I know are earth signs, but especially Capricorn, they can become a little myopic, where they can get all work and no play. And so just be cautious of that, to make time to, spend time with your family, spend time with yourself, spend time with your loved ones, okay? And, cultivate that balance of work and play, okay? Capricorn season's wonderful. And then on December 26th, the day after Christmas, we have a full moon in Cancer, okay? Full moon in Cancer. Cancer is about Cancer is the first water sign, okay? So Cancer is about how we nurture and we love ourselves, how we mother ourselves, okay? For us to have a full moon in Cancer right after Christmas, right after the Christos codes is really amplified on our planet Earth, okay? It's a really like potent time over those few days to slow down and spend time with your with whoever your blood or chosen family is, whether that's pets, peoples, plants, books, whatever. It's going to be a super emotional week. Okay, December 25th, that Christmas, around Christmas, it's going to be super 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 emotional. Okay, and for some that's going to be really challenging, especially if connecting with your emotions, tapping into your heart space is difficult, or if you are extremely sensitive and don't have cultivated practices, or even if you do, hell, I have a lot of really good grounded practical exercises that I do every day, but my Chiron is in Cancer. So anytime the full moon's in Cancer, I feel extra sensitive and prone to being a little extra, triggered, shall we say, because I'm just like overwhelmed with the energies. So again, take that week of Christmas to really just spend some time nurturing that child within, attending to your deepest needs, okay? Yes, Cancer is about, the energy of mothering and love and sharing love, but really take the time to nurture yourself first, okay? Some questions to reflect on. What does nurturing mean for you, okay? Take some time to step away from the intensity of connecting with other people and take time for you, okay? And if you have a hard time taking time for you, ask yourself why, okay? Ask yourself why. Am I having a hard time stepping away from connecting with people because I love them so much and I need them to feel validated, or because I have this sense of obligation and guilt that feels like if I take some time for myself they're not gonna love me, and then that's triggering something, okay? This full moon in Cancer is going to bring up, and I'm already feeling the energy. I always feel the energy a few weeks before. This full moon in Cancer is really going to highlight where there's still wounds around the inner child, okay? And again, with the Christmas energy right before and the birth of Christ and that baby energy in the consciousness, okay? A lot of couples have sex during the holidays. A lot of babies are born in August and September, October, around the Christmas season. There's a lot of sexual activity going on, but sometimes if we're just connecting sexually without like having our hearts connect, without the soulful connection, that can definitely even highlight even more our wounded inner child, okay? So another question to ask is, do you allow yourself to spend time in nature and in quiet contemplation, especially around a full moon, to self-reflect on the fullness of your being, okay? Full moons can indicate a closing of a chapter, okay? Earlier this year, so full moon indicates a closing of a 6-month chapter. So 6 months from this upcoming full moon was the new moon in Cancer, and that was when that cycle opened around like self-love and self-care. So over the last 6 months, there have been a lot of stuff coming up around our inner child, around our sensitivity, around playfulness, around curiosity, around having the mindset of innocence, okay? And now as we're coming down towards this full moon, it's been very much increased over the last few weeks for myself and for some of my clients and other people in my life that I connect with, some of my priestess sisters, okay? So there's been a lot of work going on. So, this is going to be like that final push. Are you more in alignment with your heart-centered truth, so you're not clinging and grasping and attaching yourself to other people that don't actually respect or encourage you, okay? This isn't about forgive and forget. This is about forgive and do not hold on to whatever has supported your growth and empowerment, okay? Because ultimately all experiences assist us into reclaiming our sovereignty, okay? Even experiences, and especially experiences that are challenging, every single experience is an opportunity. Every single mirror of relating is an opportunity to see where we love ourselves and where we are still tender and in need of more gentleness and soul work, okay? So be gentle with yourself as we go towards this full moon in Cancer, because it's not going to be easy, especially if you haven't been doing the work. And if you have, you're going to notice a shift, a lightening of the energies, which I'm so very much looking forward to. This has been a really intense year of the Cancer wounds, the Cancer-related wounds within my heart around like the mother and the child. Okay, the mother and the child is the big energy that comes up, and you know, with Christmas there, you know, I feel the need to point out we focus so much on the Christos codes, and this is part of, you know, the patriarchal conditioning of our current society and the erasure of the divine feminine. Christmas is not just about Christ consciousness, okay? Christmas also includes his mother, Mother Mary, and his father, okay? Ascended Master Germain, Joseph, okay? So it's a time to look at not just like the inner child, but also the mother and the father, the Holy Trinity. Like, where the hell did Jesus come from? The baby came from. The baby came from the womb of a mother, right? But the mother is not acknowledged. So Christmas is a time to honor not just like the baby Jesus or the Christ codes, but also the sacred family unit that Christ came through and was here to anchor the codes into. That now we are going into the age of Aquarius, and we're really going to start seeing the blossoming off, okay? These Christos codes have been gestating in human consciousness for the last several thousands of years. And as we are wrapping up this year, you know, 2024 is our bridge year. It's like the final steps of the bridge that we have been building. And by 2025, we're going to be completely out of the Piscean Capricornian age, and we're going into the Aquarian age. And the Aquarian age is about reclaiming the sacred family unit, okay? No longer this whole like, oh, if it doesn't work out, we'll get divorced. Why the fuck would you even enter a relationship if you already have that intention of like, if it doesn't work out, we can just leave? That is not the sacred family unit, okay? Women are not meant to raise children alone. Men are not meant to just work and slave all day and be disconnected from their families. This is deep, 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 deep soul work that we have been doing within ourselves. And now we are entering a time where we are going to be pushed into doing this work with the people in our lives, whether we like it or not. Okay, there's no escaping to the fucking mountains anymore, because the mountains are crumbling. The ice caps have been melting. Everything is becoming seen, because this is part of our evolution. We have to evolve or we will die out. And this is why we are being pushed into facing our discomfort, into facing our resistance, okay? And this is why it's so beautiful that we have this Mercury retrograde taking us into a new year, because it is showing us where we are still not allowing ourselves to evolve and to heal the wounds within ourselves, within our bloodlines, within our families, that do not allow us to call in the Christos codes that includes the sacred family unit of healing, whether that's healing with an ex, whether that's, you know, deepening your relationship with a lover and a partner that you have now, whether that's entering into a relationship, the way, and you know, I've briefly talked about this, but we are in the Aries North Node, Libra South Node transit now for the next, 15, 16 months. And this is a time where Libra South Node is about looking at our relationships and our karma, our consequences, because of effort or lack of effort that was put into said relationships through this life and past lifetimes, and how that affects our I am, because the Aries energy is the I am. Who am I? Well, we are known in the mirror of relating. Okay? So, again, just maybe a little bit of a rant, a little bit of a tangent, yet it felt really important for that to come through. Okay, last thing for the December energies. December 29th, Venus shifts from Scorpio to Sagittarius, which is going to be really nice, okay, to welcome the new year with a little bit of lightness. So for the most of December, we're going to be like in this really intense like reflection of our relationships, okay? with the people who are close to us, and whether, you know, these are really connections that nourish and uplift and empower us. And then once we clear the clutter and the debris and the stagnation and the superficiality, okay, then we're going into the fiery expanse of Sagittarius, and we're going to feel that shift from like this intense like sonata to this buoyant symphony, and that's gonna help us close out the year in this like fireworks kind of energy of like, whoo, yes, I have 2 friends in my life over like the 300 followers, but these 2 people, I just like, I love spending time with them, and I can never get sick. Well, maybe not. I might need a little downtime to decompress. But for the most part, I can't wait to love up on them because they love me so much. You know, it's about quality over quantity. And by the end of the month, we're going to have our quality over our quantity. And then as we go into Venus Sagittarius energy, welcoming the new year with Venus and Sag, love it. We're going to feel that lightness and that fiery energy to really nurture those relationships. And that's going to be the a big theme in 2024 is nurturing our relationships, okay? And this is integral to our shift into Aquarius energy, because the Aquarian energy is all about interpersonal connections. But we cannot have deep interpersonal connections if we are operating from a place of superficiality and you know, surface level BS, okay? So this month is going to clear it out. Give me a moment. Just like that phlegm is clearing out of my throat. You know, all of that dross is going to clear out from our consciousness, and then we're going to enter the new year without any of these, with all our closures and completions done, with our clarity of like what are our goals, our intentions for the new year, what are our action steps. Maybe we don't have all the answers, and that is okay, because we are in Mercury retrograde and it's just a time to receive. You know, here in the northern hemisphere where I'm at, we are in the winter season. Winter is a time for inner reflection, okay? So all in all, an incredible month ahead. I'm super excited for this energy. I want to share one last thing, because this came up over the Awakened when I was out with my sisters. We were talking about intentions, okay? What it was setting intentions for the new year, which is really beautiful. However, about 8 years ago or so, I started a practice where instead of setting an intention, well, I started this practice out of rebellion, because my mother would make me like sit down and write a letter to God, to Jesus, and like write all the things that I wanted to do. And then as I got older, you know, I started to like this like practice was like a setup for disappointment and failure. You know, if I didn't meet all the goals and all the like, you know, 70 things that I listed out, then I just felt like this utter failure, and it was like feeding sense of unworthiness and, you know, values, like triggering wounds around value and self-rejection and all this shit. I'm like, this isn't constructive at all. So about 7-8 years ago, I decided that instead of like creating like a list of intentions, still write them out, like this is what I would like to do, using only one word. Okay? Because when you create these intentions and these lists and these goals and these plans, and you attach yourselves to them, and then you're not able to meet them because of whatever reason, you know, life be lifing, then, you know, then that triggers that sense of unworthiness. And then you're like repeating a new cycle every single year. Oh, it's the start of a new year. Let's set new intentions. I'm going to lose 10 pounds. You know, gym memberships go up at the beginning of the year to do all this marketing. It's like, so I'm inviting and encouraging you to really think about a word for the new year. My word for this year was expansion, and Holy Mother Goddess, she gave me expansion. Was it in the ways that I asked for? Oh no. Oh no. I had all these intentions and goals of what I was going to do. I'm going to publish my, you know, 3 books. I'm going to, you know, have 7 art shows this year. I'm going to finish 25 paintings. I had all these things. Did I do any of that? I did a little bit here and there, but did I receive expansion? Oh, honey. Oh, yes. Oh, I did receive expansion, okay? So when you choose a word, you just set a singular intention. It's like that Sag energy, you know, you set your singular intention, your singular word for the year, and then that just like allows limitless possibilities within that singular focused intention. My focus was expansion, soul expansion, mental expansion, heart expansion, business expansion, all kinds of expansion I experienced this year. This is incredible. Okay, so yes, go ahead and write those goals. You know, I talked about at the beginning of this, as we were talking about December energies, how it's a great month to look at, you know, your intentions and goals for the new year and write down those action steps. But if you're like focusing on all of that being like the intention for the year, I'm inviting you perhaps to like reframe your perception and a relationship to how you set intentions. Again, keeping in mind that the true new year doesn't start till March, so you're welcome, you know, to take the next few months to really think about it, or take the next few weeks, anchor it at the, you know, stroke of midnight with the collective energy, and then really amplify it in spring. I do both because, you know, I love the collective energy, and I can just like harness it and pull it in like, yeah, let's do this thing. And I'm also, you know, working with the lunar cycle. So I do both. So, whew, wow, I just talked for like 40 minutes about the December energies. I'm going to drink a little tea. Let's see who's here live. Oh, Felicia Lee, so wonderful to catch you here live. You are so welcome. I'm so glad you got so much clarity and affirming messages here. Yes, 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 yes. I love knowing that these messages resonate with you. So thank you so much for sharing that. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, December, for all the wonder and the emotional intensity and reflective growth and closures that you're bringing so that we can welcome 2023 with love and empowerment and peace and joy and harmony. And if you want to get a tarot reading with me, I have some specials for that. Just check out the link, the description box, and I'll put it all there, okay? Whew. Okay, so let's look at the energies for this week, okay? What do we got going on this week? All right.